Hello and welcome. If this is your first time watching the channel, I am streaming this live to Twitch under the username Willcall and recording it locally for upload to YouTube under the username Willcall100. This is going to be the first time we've played Darkest Dungeon on the channel, which is why I opened up with that intro. I've played Darkest Dungeon before, so it won't be a complete surprise to me with a lot of mechanics. I don't have any of the DLCs here. We're basically playing vanilla. While I have experience, I have not played the game in a long time. Also, I have been watching some content on Darkest Dungeon recently, so I may do some meta things, I may not do some meta things, partially because I know while there is a meta for this game, I don't have it memorized, and I'm going to play by memory. So if you think I'm doing something wrong and you'd like to see me do it differently, feel free to leave a comment to that effect. There we go. Gotta figure out how we're doing. We're gonna do the medium difficulty here. From some of the content that I've read, this has a permadeath game-ending state in the highest difficulty, and the early one does some stuff that doesn't necessarily make the game easier, but can teach you bad habits. So we're gonna do the medium difficulty here. So we're gonna do the darkest, and we're gonna rename this. This is the Dark Stream, let's say. And then there we go. We're going to have an intro video here.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So that sets the scene here for the arrival on the old road. Hopefully, if you're hopefully you've seen the interest in cinematic loading the game in. Obviously, I didn't set the game up such to catch the original opening cinematic, but it does sort of introduce you to the setting. We've been called back to the estate by our ancestor, because things have gone wrong, let's say. Not to spoil it too much. So that was introducing us on sort of, we're on our way back, and the tutorial level here is effectively the stagecoach taking you back to town has crashed. So you got to command the two people riding into town with you to get through this sort of bit of road, which introduces you to the basics here. Yeah. And we're waiting for the loading here to load. Surprised it's taking this long. Although, again, it's been a while since I played the game, so knowing how long the loading times are in this game is not something I do. There we go. So we're wandering away from stagecoach.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
So we have some
ambush.
brigands.
Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
We have various types of different moves here. I'll describe them more once we're in town. We can go over our heroes in particular. These ones were just set up with basic heroes. We'll go with the Stunning Blow here in case he actually survives.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offense. .
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
So most of the game is wandering down hallways, exploring
in
maps.
forgotten places.
So in this basic tutorial map, we've got basically 2 rooms.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Oh, went ahead and rearrange this. That'll probably be fine. Worst case scenario, there is abilities to move your characters around. Didn't stun him, so we'll go for the stunning blow again. Yes. I believe in this game you never have a guaranteed to hit, and you never have a guaranteed probably to never hit. The game's basically +5 base to hit. Again, we'll go for the stun on this guy. There we go.
A time
That
to
stunned him.
perform beyond one's limits. Annihilated.
Double crit. That's nice.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Oh dear. So that's basically the tutorial level here in Darkest Dungeon. Those in your Twitch chat is coming. Hey Will, congrats on completing Victoria 3 yesterday, even though we knew it was inevitable. Have you played Darkest Dungeon before? As I did say in the intro, yeah, I have played it before, although it's been a long time. I had to install it today, or had to install it before we could play it here on stream. Last time I played it was actually on a different computer, so we'll see how well it runs on this computer. This computer, in theory, should be better than the previous one I ran it on. And then I've been watching a lot of Darkest Dungeon content recently, so hopefully I don't make a complete fool of myself. Although, it is the Darkest Dungeon, though our characters will die. We earned, as a quest reward here, 5,000 gold. All our treasure and unused supplies get converted back into money, and we did collect 2 beads as heirlooms. So when we complete a quest, our heroes gained XP, so we jump from level 0 to level 1, and they can earn both drawbacks and benefits. So Reginald here has gained Unyielding, so he's going to have extra resistance to Death Blow, whereas Dismas here has gained Pyromania, experiences witness visions, and delusions. Twitch chat saying, is not making a fool of yourself or oneself on stream content gold? Well, you got to do it in moderation. It's like the spice of life. You got to make enough fool of yourself that is interesting, but at the same time, you don't want to be doing nothing but making a fool of yourself.
These corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So, in theory, at the end of every week, we get sort of a overview on the goals set by the caretaker, as well as an activity log. And in theory, we can scroll back all the way back as far as the run has been going. It's only been 1 week, so it's pretty simple here. We've got a stagecoach here.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws.
This is where we get new
Fools
characters from.
and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
This early, we've got a cap of characters of 10. So at the moment, we're just going to take all the
What
characters that
better
are around.
laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Later on, we can upgrade the number that show up every week. We can also upgrade the size of our roster barracks, so we can store more. We can get experienced heroes as well. How many things do I have in reserve? 3, 4, so 3 deeds and 4 crests. I'm a little tempted. We'll go through the rest of the other buildings before we upgrade it. I'm a little tempted to get this up to this stage, so we have 4 heroes coming in a week, just in case something goes wrong and we lose everyone, because that happens. We don't have the tavern yet. We don't have the sanitarium yet. We don't have the guild or the blacksmith. We do have the Nomad wagon, so we could shop
Trinkets
for rare
and
stuff.
charms
Not that we can
gathered
afford
from all
anything.
the forgotten corners of the earth.
We could upgrade it to have a number of available trinkets and reduce the cost. We're not going to do that right now. We may do that in the future. Ancestor
In time,
Memorial.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
So this is all the intros, including actually the game start intro. I think this is the game start intro. We didn't play because I didn't start the recording before I got the game launched. We haven't seen the House of Ruins, so I'll go ahead and play the House of Ruins so that people watching on YouTube and Twitch that have not seen the intro cinematic have seen it. Then we'll get back to going through the city.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity. Until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house. Opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
So that's a pretty good intro to why we have returned to the Dark Estate. So sorry for having those two intro videos out of order, but that is why we were here. We have a graveyard where we can track the fallen
Most will
heroes.
end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
We've yet to lose anyone, so this is not come to play. So yeah, after looking at those options, what I think we'll do, and this is sort of future-proofing for me being really bad at the game, as much as I'm going to try not to be bad at the game, we're going to take the upgrade to the
Word is
stagecoach.
traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities.
This way, we get
can
4
use
heroes every week. So even if I lose the entire team, we'll have a replacement team for the next week. And with that, we will embark onto the estate and figure out...
Mecca of madness
West.
and morbidity. Your work begins.
So we've got the sort of the 4... I'm playing vanilla here. I don't have the DLC content. The DLC content adds 2 additional areas. Right now we only have access to the ruins, and apparently it has popped up the darkest dungeon. We're not going straight into the darkest dungeon this early. That would be very rapid deletion of our people here. Instead, we've got a scouting mission in the ruins. So the ruins outside the old estate. The other places are the Warrens, the Veld, and the Cove. The reward for completing the quest here in the ruins, which is explore 90% of the rooms, is 4 crests, a bleed stone, and 3,000 gold. We now have 4 heroes. We have Reginald, Dismas, Charon, and Osmont. So we're going to get into provisions here.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
There are recommendations for how many things to take. I have promptly forgotten all the recommendations, so I'm going to probably either run too much or too little of various things. I'll just take all the food. Take a bunch of torches. I think I'll just take 2 stacks of torches as well. We'll take a couple shovels. Take some bandages. A sizzle herb and take a little bit of everything. And that should probably be enough. So we got 4 heroes here. We're going to embark into this otherwise short quest. Now, various things I've probably brought in too many, which is probably the best way to handle certain problems. So this is the dungeon map. We need to explore 90% of the rooms. In such small dungeons, I think it's only going to let us skip 1 room. Assuming we're only going to skip 1 room, we could technically just go north and say we're skipping that one. I think we'll try to explore all the rooms unless something goes horribly amiss. So we click on the next room and begin walking down the hallway. Savage an unburnt torch. Nice. Which I am going to go and promptly use to keep the torchlight nice and high. Increases the likelihood we surprise monsters, scout the dungeon, and dodge. Early on is somewhat valuable. So I didn't go over our hero abilities when it was just the 2 heroes. So Dismas here has Open Vein, so a chance to bleed. Pretty useless against these skeletons. Pistol Shot, which is bonus damage against marked, but otherwise is a range attack. Grape Shot Blast, which is sort of a shotgun-like attack, and has a de-stealth mechanic with the tracking shot here. I think we'll end up going with the Grape Shot Blast here. We'll probably change up his skills once we're down. Oh, because we only got people in the front row. He's got to use his melee, which is fine.
Surges as the enemy crumbles. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
It's early on, so easy fights are great.
As victories mount, so too
We've got to
will
unlock
resistance.
Strongbox, so we'll just open the chest. Contents are ours. And we did get the Lucky Scout, so we can see there is going to be a fight and an obstacle in the upcoming hallway, as well as a room battle of treasure. Okay.
Even
Here's
the
why we want one of the
cold
shovels
stone
along.
seems bent on preventing passage.
If you don't have a shovel when you hit one of those, normally you basically have a bad event happen. As your people have to manually clear it. Let's go for the stun on the rear guy. Did get the stun, that's nice. Do the multi-attack, of course we miss it. This is stun, provides a little bit of torch as well. Did get the stun off, that's nice. Go for the stun here as well. Having pretty good success at getting everyone stunned. When they recover from stun, they do get a buff that makes them more stun resistant for a short period of time. So we don't want to follow up a stun with a stun, unless they've had time to recover from it. I think these guys are classed as unholy, so we'll go for a kill if we can. There we
Another
go.
abomination cleansed from our lands.
So Blight is one of the damage over times effects. I think we'll go for the heal here.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, relatively cheap fight. Into the room we go. And again, we knew there was nothing in this room. Oh, and I got lucky with the scout again, so we can see that regardless of what we're doing, we're going to run into a trap. So I'm going to do a room battle with the treasure, or do a curio with a... or just a curio. I think we'll do the battle first. We're going to have to go to both of them. What I think I'll do is I'll backtrack along this road. I'm going to skip that curio for the moment. I'm going to torch up before we go into the battle. We're going with max
In
torch.
Radiance, may we find victory.
And because of the good light, we surprised them. Let's go for the bleed on the person who can bleed up front. Try to stun the guy in the back. Grape shot to hit a bunch of them. And then I'll try to go for a kill on the skeleton.
To
There
the
we go.
pit.
We'll again go for the away.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Here's a nice, convenient default party order, so the party back in order again. We're out of combat. I'm going to deal with the bleeding on our character. So he's not bleeding between combat. Heirloom chest. I'm going to use our skeleton key on here, which guarantees that we don't have anything bad happen to us when we loot the chest. At least I think it does. Could be wrong. Then we're going to go back the way we came. That way we can bypass one of these traps. That was also the reason I left the curio here. Again, I've watched some content
Wealth beyond
recently,
measure.
so I know
To the brave and the foolhardy alike.
bad events like hunger here can't spawn on tiles with like good tiles, uncompleted tiles. So we left the curio there, so we reduced the probability that something bad happens from whatever it was, and something bad did happen, to be fair. From instead of being at four possibilities to 3 possibilities. That doesn't make a big difference, but made a little bit of a difference. We're not going to backtrack down this hallway, so we will interact with this curio. And we know that there is nothing particularly scary in this one. I am wrong. There was something scary here. Oh dear. I'm gonna spend one of our torches, get the light up. Go for the stun. It's a little bit more useful of a stun because it hits the back 2 rows. So if there's 2 people in the back, it hits both the back guys. Actually, I'll go for the stun here. Did resist the stun. Go for the stun here. Got that one off.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Ooh, got hit with the critical, so we're gonna have to take time to heal that guy as soon as we can. Gotta go with
Their
stun.
formation is broken.
Oh. I suppose no better stun than a lethal one. I don't want to play this. Don't actually want to kill the guy. We'll go with the buff here. Well, we still get the buff off either way. Please recover from the stun. So we do want to kill him this turn. So I want to get the heal off before we do. Yeah, it could have been better. 4 health is better than no health. This isn't a particularly great heal, but it is a heal. Oh, you don't have the ability to attack that deep in the enemy ranks. Fair enough. Okay, try to smite one of the skeletons here. Or bring him a bit closer. Okay, we would like him to be dead, so please render the skeleton dead, please.
Impressive.
There we go.
This expedition at least promises success.
Holy Fountain. I'm going to put some holy water in the Holy Fountain. I feel like that gives us a good result. Ooh, nice heal. That worked out great. And we move down this hallway. We know there's a trap here. I think the Highwayman has the best chance of dealing with the trap. There we go. Successfully disarm the trap. We got lucky with another scout. And this is the thing that does happen in this game. You will frequently run into situations where you've looted more stuff than you know what to do with. I'm going to use the food as healing. We're going to throw the rest of the food out. And then we're going to throw the rest of the food out. Collect the... There we go. Hunger. Okay. And with that, we've completed the quest. There is an argument here, and we're at full health, so we're going to continue adventuring. We're going to get the loot from what's left in here. So there's an obstacle, which we have a shovel, that's not a problem. We know there is treasure in the last room, so we're going to go to the last room. Leave out of the way. And yeah, for a short quest, I probably got along 2 torches.
The light, the promise of safety.
This is the first battle we've got with double guys in the back line. That makes this much better, because this has the ability to stun 2 of them in the back line. We only got lucky and got 1. Still better than none. Try to stun the other one in the back line. Oh, that one can't go that far back. The guy who looks more like an attacker, rather than the more defensive guy. Put the stun off on him. Let's just bring him down.
Another one falls.
This guy in the back, the Bone Courtier here, has a good ability to cause stress. As you can see, we gained 15 stress. I'm trying to avoid stress if we can. We will recover all the damage at the end of this battle. We will not recover the stress. As such, I'd like to be quite destructive to the enemy so that we do not have time to gain stress. So there goes the guy in the back dying. So now we just need to bring the one down up front. He does have stun resist, so we've got 0% chance to stun him. Oh no, it's 100% base, so 50-50? We have some chance to kill him, though, so we'll go for the chance to kill him. There we go, we got the chance to kill him. Victory has been achieved.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
So you're worth the Onyx is worth 500, so we can obviously throw the torch out to pick it up. And crests are meta progression. I will throw out the Anthem Venom to get the crest. And we do want to loot the chest. It's an heirloom chest. We've got a key, so we're going to use the key on it.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now
And
it
we were able
must
to
be
fit it in.
carried
There we go.
home.
It's a nice, easy first foray into the ruins. Our treasure amounts, looted treasure amounts to be about 4,430. The quest reward is another 3,000. And we now have a bleed stone. So if we're going to do some bleed stuff, we might as well put the bleed stone on the person we're going to bleed with. It's a common item, so it's not super impressive. We had enough resolve to get the 2 new heroes up to level 1. And one of them gained both a perk and a malice. He likes to scout in the Weald, and is obsessed with cleanliness.
The tents are pitched, banners fly, and the corpse wagons stand at the ready. The circus has come to town.
So we could enter the circus to reduce 10 stress. I am probably not going to bother. And that is a mechanic that I do not know about. We do now have a couple new
Fresh
buildings.
heads, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
So we've gained access to the tavern, which presents 3 different ways for us to lower stress. The bar, allowing people to drink their cares away. The gambling hall and the brothel. This also introduces one of the mechanics, which is every week the caretaker will be wandering the town and will pick one of the stress release places to go to. So he's gone and put himself in the gambling hall. So we cannot put anyone in the gambling hall. You can upgrade it to have more access to recovery. I think some of these are also cheaper. Right, because it's only +2 spots. So right now it would be... it's a combination. The upgrades make it either cheaper, make it better, or give you more slots. That's, I think, how it works. And the other place is the Abbey, which is another
Cobwebs
stress
have been
release
dusted,
place,
The pews set straight.
which again has the same
Abbey
sort of
calls to
upgrades.
the faithful.
We have not yet unlocked the guild or the blacksmith. We should have 4 new heroes awaiting us: the Grave Robber, the Man at Arms, the Highwayman, and a Hellion. We will go ahead and take those.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
And then I think one thing I will do is I will take the barracks size increase.
Word
Technically, we
is
didn't need to take it
traveling.
this week. We could wait until next week.
Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
So now we've got a little bit greater variety in our heroes. Once we get access to, I believe, the guild, we will gain access to being able to unlock our other skills. So each of the heroes has 7 skills. At any point, you can be running 4 of them. So when you enter a combat, you have 4 active at any given time. By default, it's unlocked 4 of them per hero. Do the new heroes? Yeah, so you, by default, you've got 4 of them unlocked at any given time on first acquiring the hero. Once you've got the guild hole, you can level the other ones, and you can change them out. And I believe you can change them out between battles as well, so you're not locked into the same 4 for the entire dungeon run. I'll take the time here to go through what we've got on the roster before we go back to the dungeon, and I will put the part break in after I go over this. And we are collecting quirks, both good and bad, every time we go into the dungeon. So at some point, we're going to want to try to purge the bad ones and hope for better ones. So we have Smite here, which is basically front line, so first or second rank on our side hits first or second rank on the other side. You get the bonus damage versus Unholy. And I'm not sure what counts as Unholy. I suspect a lot of the enemies in here are going to count as Unholy, especially the skeletons, I think. I think that's why we did a lot of damage to the skeletons. Righteous Accusation. So this hits the first 2, both of the first 2, so not either or, but both. Has slightly lower same accuracy. Reduce damage, reduce crit. So you hit multiple people, but you do less damage because of it to each individual one. We got Stunning Blow. I think part of the meta in this game is to try to control the enemies whenever you can, so stunning them is a pretty good way to do that. It starts off with a base. If you stun a guy, they get a temporary buff that is plus 50% stun resistance. We got a buff of our own here, which buffs ourselves. Marks ourself, provides torch, and provides protection. Enemies that play off of Mark will tend to target marked people, although they usually get benefits for targeting marked people, so be careful about that. We'll be later able to pick a Battle Heal, Holy Lance, and Inspiring Cry, which, well, 2 of those are heals. So that's a heal plus torch plus stress relief. This is heal. This is sort of a move and do damage. You have to be in the back row, and it moves you forward. Depending on what you're doing, that is quite useful, because as you noticed, wants to be in the front row, wants to be in the front row, wants to be in the front row, wants to be in the front row. So depending upon how you're running your other skills, you may want something like Holy Lance to get this guy productively out of the back rows. Otherwise, you'll have to just do a move, and the move just does move. We have Dismas here. We had Pistol Shot. We weren't really taking advantage of this because we had no way to mark anyone. But if we're in basically the back 3 rows, we can hit the back 3 rows. Any of the back 3 rows. We're using Grapeshaft quite a bit. This one specifically because it hits 3 guys, right? So we're taking 50% mod damage to any of those individual hits, but if we're hitting 3 people, 50% damage, it's about 150% summative. A little bit bad at taking a particular target down, but good from a coverage standpoint. We had a buff here. For what we were fighting, this is not a particularly useful buff, but it has its uses. For example, removing stealth. The Open Vein, again, the skeletons don't really bleed, so Open Vein is useful, maybe not for the people we're mostly fighting. And you can see our resistances down here as we click through. We were using the Plague Doctor here. Has Plague Grenade, again hits the back 2. Same thing with Blinding Gas. Blinding Gas has a stun, Plague Grenade has a blight. When we were up close, we had Incision, which hits the front 2 rows. So we basically got hit the back row, hit the front row, and when he's in the back, can do heal. Most notably, this is not a very strong heal, but it cures Blight and Bleed. I feel like this combos with one of the other character types we haven't picked up yet. That does a really strong heal at the cost of potentially bleeding it. So there's definitely combos between characters you can get going. We don't have Noxious Blast, which is back row to front rows. Emboldening Vapors, which is a damage buff, and Disorienting Blast, which is a single shuffle to the back row. Osmont here was our Vestal. Mace Bash, good way to do damage when you're in the melee. Judgment provides a self-heal while doing some damage. Not bad if you want to self-heal. We had Dazzling Light. Dazzling Light provides some torch, provides a pretty decent stun. Does need to be used from sort of the back row. Divine Grace, decently good heal, targeted heal, has to be in the back 2 rows. Divine Comfort heals the entire party, so not a single target. Has a little bit slightly wider range than Divine Grace, so if you're worried about getting pulled forward, a little bit better. Illumination provides torch, does a dodge debuff, so if you're worried about the other guys dodging, this is a way to mitigate the dodge. Hand of Light was a way to do damage. This is considered range damage while being in the front couple rows. So you probably, in my case, if once I get the options here, I'll probably either have run Mace Splash or Hand of Light. I probably won't run both, because I'd probably like to have some of the other bonuses. In later dives, we're gonna have the Grave Robber as an option. Grave Robber has a lunge, pushes them 2 rows forward, so it's a mobility skill. At some point, we probably want to pick to the face, just so they have a melee. But lunge basically takes you from back 2 rows forward 2. Flashing daggers, which is a good way to do damage from the back against multiple targets. Shadow Fade, stealth, and a way to move yourself back. So you could hypothetically do lunge into Shadow Fade. Throw dagger, so if you're in the back sort of rows, you can throw a dagger. Poison darts, you're in the back, you can do some blight damage. And then we have Toxic Trickery, cures blight, bleed, provides dodge and speed. We have the Men-at-Arms, good old Crush with the mace. Rampart, which is a melee, moves you forward 1. Bellow, used from anywhere, hits anywhere. Although, doesn't really do any damage by default. But applies minus dodge, minus speed. Crits received increased on the targets, and marks a bunch of targets, I think is what it does. Or that might be... does something to mark targets. Defender, so you can pick one ally and guard them. Retribution is a way to activate Riposte and mark a target. Command, buffs a target. Bolster target, so lots of buffs here. Probably in that base configuration, we'd probably not want to use them until we can get slight rearrangement. Feel like we got too many buffs here and not enough stuff to do damage. We got another Highwayman, so I'm just going to skip over this one. Although, notably, different immediate starting roster here. We have Wicked Slice instead of Grapeshot Blast. And then we have a Hellion here. Hellion has Wicked Hack, so a melee blow. Basically, front 2 rows, from the front 2 rows to the front 2 rows. Front row to back row. Iron Swan. Barbaric Yarp. Good stun, probably, although it debuffs you when you do it. Although it can stun 2 people, so pretty nice there. Then we got Bleed Out, which is a high bleed chance run. Again, at damage reduction to self. So we're seeing lots of... does a debuff to self. Adrenaline Rush provides a damage buff, roughly equivalent and opposite to... well, not quite opposite, because it doesn't remove the speed, but it removes the damage modifier. Adrenaline Rush here for a slight self-heal and some extra damage. Breakthrough hits a bunch of people, moves you forward. And if it bleeds... which is another bleed attack. So those are 8 characters. We'll probably pick up more character types as we move on farther in the run. Every week we're going to get presented with 4 new choices. I'm probably going to be taking some or all of those choices every week, because we probably want at least 2 teams sitting around. Whether they're sitting in various locations recovering from stress, such as the Abbey, or there being the 4 that we take out into battle. And plus, we might want slightly different teams for different locations. So yeah, this is the first part, introducing ourselves to the estate and the first couple quests here. We are going to have a couple different choices for quests coming up in the next part. Again, we can do, we're going to the ruins here. It's still early enough in the game, we're kind of getting stuck in the ruins unless we're going to do a deep dive immediately into the Darkest, which is not a good plan. So here we've got a skirmish quest, which is basically go into the ruins and complete all the rune battles. Again, another short quest. We got a short, so we got 2 different skirmish, 3 different skirmish, and a cleanse. The cleanse being a medium length quest. So we'll take a look at the rewards going forward. Plus 15% max health. The big problem I see there is the minus speed. I wouldn't necessarily want the minus speed. Minus 2 speed's a bit bad. Accuracy dodge, that looks nice. We might try to, although that's Jester only, you don't have a Jester at the moment. Grave Robber, common speed, that's actually pretty nice. We might do that one. Stinging pick here. Highwind Man. Plus stress, plus crit, plus minus virtue chance. Usually you want positive virtue chance, so yeah, I think we're probably, on the next one, we're going to attempt to do this one that's specifically looking for the common Grave Robber item here. Plus 2 speed would be nice. Yeah, that will be where we're going. Probably in the next part. If you're watching on YouTube, that will be up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a short break to get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea. And then we will be back to record more of the Darkest Dungeon. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.